Hello grade 10s, I'm doing a quick pre-recording for you just about the last piece of work about luxury game reserves, botanical gardens, SANParks and trans-frontier parks. Okay, so eintlik is hierdie gedeelte deur die departement uitgehaal, so ons het nie nodig om dit in detail te doen nie. Dit is waarom aktiwiteit 6 wat jy gedoen het gister gedoen het, is eintlik voldoende. It should give you a good idea of the extent to which you need to know this chapter. I'm posting the memo for the activity, so please just compare your answers and make sure that you've got the right information, because that is the type of question that you could expect in exams or in the test. Goed, so dan wil ek net met jou vinnig gesels oor hierdie konsepte, omdat ons dit nie in detail gaan doen nie, wil ek net hê jy moet verstaan wat elkeen is. Dit is hoekom ek vir jou die video's laat kyk het. I always feel that if you watch a video, it gives you a nice visual idea of what these concepts are, and because that's important. For background, I think it's important that you have a visual idea of what a botanical garden is. What can you expect when you go to a luxury game reserve, etc. Okay, so kom ons begin net gou by die luukse privaat wildtuine. Die video wat ek vir jou gewys het was omtrent net Oos-Kaap wildtuine. So dis eintlik nogal amazing. Ons het vreeslik baie daarvan in die Oos-Kaap. The main thing is they are privately owned. In other words, they are completely independent. Not part of SANParks. Okay, they are not governed by South African national parks. They are privately owned, privately managed. You won't find big hotels on a luxury game reserve. Usually you'll find lodges and smaller accommodation places, but that's also why it's so expensive. It's because it's so exclusive. So a lot of them are 5-star rated, so you pay a lot of money. It caters mostly for overseas tourists, especially in South Africa, and it's not even funny to pay between 12 and 15,000 rand per person per night if you want to stay in some of these, but still amazing and beautiful and gorgeous. But that is luxury game reserves. Okay, you've got a good couple of examples in the textbook. You don't need to know any fine details about any of those. Yes, just so that you know what the concept is of a luxury game reserve. Okay, very expensive, very exclusive, privately owned, not governed by South African or managed by South African national parks. Good. Then botanical gardens. Important that you just know the ones that they mention in the textbook, just know where they are. Like Kirstenbosch, know that it is in Cape Town. Walter Sisulu, know that that one is in Roodepoort. Just know where they are and the province in which they are. And then also just that apart from having a lot of indigenous plants, sometimes exotic plants as well. Some of them have habitats with water and some animals and birds, etc. But it's usually a park that offers activities like soos kunsuitstallings en openlig musiekkonserte. Jy kan gaan piknik hou, you can go for walks. Okay, dit is nie 'n plek waar jy met jou motorfiets gaan deurry nie. Okay, dit is nie 'n plek waar jy net gaan loop. Daar's gewoonlik paadjies in order to protect the plants in the botanical garden. Okay, so that is basically what you need to know about botanical gardens. Then when it comes to South African national parks, important thing there, and it was also part of the activity that you did. Jy moet weet in watter provinsie is elkeen van hierdie 10 wat in die handboek is, né? Ken hulle naam, weet in watter provinsie hulle is. En weet ook wat is die main attraction of that national park. So if I give you an example and I say to you, what is the main attraction of the Ugrabis Waterfall National Park? Then you would probably have to say the Ugrabis Waterfall, okay? If I tell you what is the main attraction of the Addo Elephant Park, it would be Elephants. Okay, so you need to know their main attraction and you need to know in which province they are situated. That is all you have to know for SANParks. Then when it comes to transfrontier parks, it's important that you know what the difference between the two is. Wat is die verskil tussen 'n nasionale park en 'n oorgrenspark? 'n Nasionale park is geleë in Suid-Afrika, net in Suid-Afrika, en 'n oorgrenspark strek van Suid-Afrika af oor die grens na 'n ander land toe. Okay? National parks only in South Africa. Transfrontier parks, they are in South Africa, yes, but they stretch across the border and they go into another country. What actually happened there with the transfrontier parks is that there were two parks on either side of the border, and the borders were removed and the parks were made one. That's why some of them have hyphenated names, né? Baie van hulle het koppelteken name, want is eintlik twee parke wat saamgevoeg is. So they've removed the border so that the animals can walk freely, and it is now managed by two countries. Waar die SANParke net deur Suid-Afrika bestuur word, waar die oorgrensparke bestuur deur twee lande. Okay. So that is important. You need to know what a transfrontier park is. Then you need to know the ones that are mentioned in the textbook. The name you need to know, and I need to know which two countries form part of that transfrontier park. Okay, so jy moet weet, Galagadi strek van Suid-Afrika oor die grens tot in Botswana. Okay, I Richtersveld, Suid-Afrika en Namibia. Okay, so that's what you need to know there. What is a transfrontier park? How is it managed? Both countries, borders have been removed, animals can walk freely. Which two countries? Okay. And then the last one is die oorgrensbewaringsgebiede. Dis maar dieselfde basies, né? Dit is 'n oorgrenspark, maar dit is 'n bewaringsgebied en daar's verskillende bewaringspraktyke wat gebeur in hierdie gebied. Okay. The two in the textbook, Maluti Drakensberg en Limpopo Shashe, also just need to know across which border does it stretch. In other words, watter twee lande is betrokke. En ja, wat is 'n oorgrensbewaringsgebied, né? Wat is dit? Dis 'n oorgrenspark en dit bestaan uit 'n klomp gemeenskaplike gebiede, privaat wildreservate, even hunting areas. Yes, it's a bigger region with a lot of conservation practices happening on it. Okay, so dit is dit. En dit is die som totaal van alles wat jy moet ken in hierdie afdeling wat ons nou met julle gaan doen. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you will now, please make sure that you've now, after you watch this video, that you have marked your activity 6 with the memo that I gave you, and then you will do the quiz. I will get the marks, it will mark automatically, and yes, that brings us to the end of that chapter. You must have a wonderful afternoon, and I will speak to you in a little bit. Okay.